We pronounce it binarias, but really it's just a made up word. So anything goes.
Binirias kind of came from ones and zeros. Hello. Can you guys hear us?
Uh,
Add source. All right, testing, testing, testing. Can you guys hear me now? Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Am I being double mic'd by you guys?
No.
no.
No?
Everything's
Okay.
good.
Okay, and then because I'm getting you guys a little bit. Well, I also have my volume really low, so that probably was why I'm not hearing you guys. Yep. How about now? No sound now, Arthur. You guys. Sorry. This is So I'm used to using my ATEM Mini. This is the problem that I have with ATEM Mini is that it doesn't work with Discord. So I need to probably, if I'm going to do these moving forward, I'm going to have to switch to Zoom. So I'll have to pay for that and get that going. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining. This is Matt and Marie and Matt, the Binirias. I'm horrible at this. Binirias.
Hi, guys.
Dynamic duo. And what they do is Matt makes the music, and if you would have heard that in the intro there, and helps Marie. And Marie does a lot of these really fantastic designs. They're basically I don't really have any cool custom keycaps. I don't know if I can pull this one off. There you go. She does these really cool custom keycaps. And on top of the custom keycaps, she makes really cool coasters, keycap like holders, and all sorts of stuff. And if you go to the link below, you can kind of see what their link tree, and you can go and see all of the really cool art that they make, because it's fantastic and lovely, and I really, really enjoy it. So, and yes, the really
Creature
cool
cards with the backstories of the creatures that we make.
So what oh, can you guys boost your volume in Discord real quick?
All right. Yeah, sure thing.
I think it was a little bit, and then I probably have my mic probably a little bit. I can probably bring my mic down to match. Here, test, test. Boom, boom. So there we go.
Hello?
There we go.
Is that
Yes.
good?
I think you
There
sound
you go.
a little bit better. This is yeah, another
Boost it up.
fun thing with Discord is the audio can be somewhat weird sometimes. But real quick, what do you guys think? Or can you walk us through like how you guys started doing this? Like, what's the what made this be the thing that you guys started doing, and what was the catalyst that got you rolling?
We started planning for Binirias last year, around, I think it was March of last year. So I've always loved playing video games, first and foremost. So I love a good RPG with really great lore and stuff like that. And I know that the latest Pokemon game just came out last year. So I started playing that for a while, and I thought like, wow, like I have so many ideas for like Pokemon-like creatures, but I had like little backstories of them, and I thought it would be really great to have like a sort of comic book or manga.
Mm-hmm.
And I was into mechanical keyboards, and of course, like I've been collecting keycaps as well, artisan keycaps, and I thought like, oh, like these creatures would make really good keycaps, and with Matt's encouragement, like it became a thing, and we started Binirias.
Okay, it and so that with that, Matt did the that intro song that I was kind of playing at the beginning, and I could play some. We're gonna probably throughout the show play some of Matt's music, and we'll highlight and if whatever Marie has on hand. She has these really cool little characters and the coasters and the mumes. Is it mume or mume? I call them
It's a
mumes.
it's a Moomy.
Moomy. There you go.
Moomy, yeah.
I'm also, if you didn't know, notorious for butchering names, so that's a weird quirk of mine. But yeah, so the and then what made you start to actually make and like craft these characters? Because that's not an easy thing to do. That's pretty cool to like actually have that art style to like go in and build these guys out and everything.
Mm-hmm. I guess like first and foremost, like we do the planning of the creatures. So like for example, for Mumi, she was inspired by the cherry blossoms, for the Japanese cherry blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
So everything just sort of like snowballed from that idea. So as you can see on her like scales, it's reminiscent to the cherry blossom petals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we designed her through cherry blossoms. And one of her like talents is she can actually detach her scales and attack her opponents or enemies.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. And
It's a very
oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Like it's just a very like creative process, I guess, and it's really fun, like thinking of backstories and just like creating these little creatures that are like super cute.
Yeah, and they really are. They're like so my daughter, like every time I go to your guys' like Instagram and see pictures, my daughter's always like wanting to like look at all the pictures. And then another funny thing is my daughter has this thing where on Discord the little emojis,
Oh
like,
yeah,
and she
yeah.
always picks your guys' emojis out of the
Oh.
list for all of her random like, oh, I want that one. She like it looks like she's shopping. She's like, oh, and that one and that one. And she always picks
That's
all
so
of your
cute.
characters. So yeah, they're very, very cool and very, very pretty. She always loves like I'll show her the pictures of like your designs that you have, and you're kind of when you're experimenting and whatnot with the different things. And she's always like, "Oh, so pretty." So another thing, actually, real quick, what are you guys partaking in this evening? Because I'm having a my version of a bourbon Monte Carlo, which is Dom Benedictine with bourbon and some bitters and some cherries right now because I didn't have any oranges.
You want to go first?
We're sharing that as well, but it's a margarita gose.
Very cool. How's that? Is that pretty tasty?
I like it. Yeah, it's kind of sour, salty. It's light.
And I'm having the Quat.
Oh.
So it's a seasonal beer from a local family-owned brewery up in Tampa. So we're from South Florida. So every time this goes on sale, I think they start selling it around summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And we just buy tons of it and hoard it before like they run out of they run out of it. And
So
then it's gonna come back again next year. Yeah, because it's a seasonal beer, so they produce it once a year every summertime.
Very good. It's funny. I used to be like really hardcore into craft beers, and then I just didn't have. It's funny. I had my daughter, and just the time, like for whatever reason, like bourbon became. I switched from. It's funny. I went from kind of going down the speaker path to going to headphones, and then I went from being a craft beer kind of guy to more. I was always a whiskey guy, but like I really dove into whiskey after that. I think it was because you could just take a shot and not have to drink whole beer. Just crash.
That's true.
So yeah, like it. But I used to love. There's this one place down south. My brother was stationed in Florida for a while there, before he retired and everything. But There's this beer. It had a turtle on it, and it was a milk chocolate stout called Yoo-Hoo or You. It was like a play on Yoo-Hoo chocolate milk. It had a little turtle on it. And I remember drinking that down there in where were we at? We were up North Florida though, and then he went to Floribama area, and so after that, but I loved that one. That was really delicious. What's your Sorry, I went on an ADHD sidetrack story, but what's your guys' favorite style of beer these days? Are you guys more of a sours and IPA type, or do you like the stouts? And...
I personally love sours, so my favorite style is goses. So specifically the lipstick goses. Anderson Valley has a ton of goses that are really good, so I love them.
Agreed. Yeah, I don't. What you, Matt?
I was for a while into stouts, but started getting more into sours and goses. She introduced me to them. So.
Usually, how that
and I hadn't really been into beers for a while. When she introduced me to them, I was like, okay, I kind of got into that. But I still drink stouts. I like chocolate stouts too.
Yeah. Twingwin actually has Kolsch's are also really good if you never had that. Or another one that I really like if you like, especially for summer now it's getting warmer. Well, it's Florida for you guys, but framboise. Have you ever had framboise? Like those are
yeah.
So good, especially like really cold on like a hot day and barbecuing.
Yep. And it's always hot in South Florida. That's why we're liking the light sour beers.
Yeah, perfect. Bites through the heat. Oh, cuts, not bites. Cuts through the heat. So and then tell me more about you guys. Like how, like what's the and then obviously you can ask me any questions at any point in time that you like. But who is Matt and Marie, or Marie and Matt? What do you guys do for fun outside of making cool music and very cool keycaps and accessories for desks?
That's all we do. We're workaholics. That's all we do. No, you want to go first?
I don't know. I have a lot of different hobbies that I like. I like to surf, sport.
Getting a little bit of freezing, but okay, then we're good.
Everything
good?
Okay. I like to play basketball. I like to go to the gym. Things like
He's
that.
a health buff.
I like yoga.
I know these feels.
Yeah. Actually, certified yoga teacher.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I like to read. I don't know.
Hey, I'm similar, man. I used to read a ton of. It's funny, not so much now, but I used to read like 3 to 5 books a month.
Nice.
Like it was I was like hardcore about it. Now I do Audible, so it's just because I'm on the go all the time, and it's just easier. But yeah, like especially when but once family becomes like the dynamic changes. Once you have other things, all of a sudden it seems like you never have time to do anything. But and Scott, it's not weird that you like stouts in the summer. Stouts are delicious. They're just not for everybody
all year
all
round.
And Marie, what are some outside? Well, yeah, I guess we'll start with that. What's some outside hobbies that you like to do outside of
outside hobbies? Oh man, I'm usually indoors. Like I don't, I'm a homebody, so I don't really go outside. So any like outdoor hobbies, I don't have any outdoor hobbies.
Sure.
Going to craft breweries.
Yeah, going to craft breweries, but with COVID, like we haven't gone out as much as we wanted to.
She likes to eat. She's a foodie.
I like to eat, yes.
Me
Besides
also.
that, like I just like really work, and after work, I play video games. I'm a total weeb.
Very cool. I wouldn't. Let's see here. Like, so I'm not that new. Like, I like certain. Like, I'm not like a hardcore into anime or anything like that. But I do like watching like the different anime shows as they come up when I have access to them. Like, I think my biggest claim to anime fame would probably be I watched like the entirety of the Naruto series. I don't know if that would even be
Oh,
considered.
wow, that's a lot of
Oh wow.
that's
Yeah,
a lot of
that's
episodes.
Yeah.
commitment right
Yeah,
there.
and I read all the manga too. So I read all the mangas and I
Oh
watched
wow.
all the. I don't know. That was one of my weird ADHD things I was talking about before. Like once I start diving into something, like
Yeah.
it's hard. I just whoop, and then I have to finish it. So.
That's
Yeah.
like my pet peeve with anime, or the ones that last too long.
Oh yeah, just, that one was tough too, man. Like because there's like for as much as there was like proper episodes, there was like
Yeah,
probably three
filler.
times as
So
many
much
filler
filler.
episodes, but just
Yeah.
didn't add
Yeah.
anything.
I think I quit around 300 something.
I got close. 300 was where I was like, in it to win it.
And they had like another like Naruto's son.
Yeah,
Like
no, the
after like
Boruto.
Naruto. Yeah, Boruto. Yeah.
And all the
That was,
movies.
like,
I didn't watch
intense.
all the movies either. That was the other thing I haven't watched. Uh, and so I've been in. What's the other ones I watched? The Demon Slayer recently. Anything on Netflix is probably what I watch, just because it's easy.
Yeah.
And then so I watched. I
Scott
actually.
mentioned.
Which one?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say Scott mentioned My Hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah,
good
Scott.
Yeah.
I
That's
actually
one
had
of
this
our
on my list.
favorites.
It's on my list
Yeah.
to watch. Actually, I just finished doing all the Gundams that just got added because I never really watched Gundam, but I
Oh,
always
nice.
loved Gundam.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Gundam's good. Yeah.
Yeah, like so as a kid growing up, like I remember seeing the Gundams, like the action figures, and like loving them, but I never had access to it, and so I never actually saw any of those shows. And like so I just
Which one is your favorite series?
I've literally just watched the two on Netflix,
Uh-huh.
to be honest with you, man. Just recently, literally with like last 2 weeks, like it was crazy.
Is that Gundam Wing and Gundam 08, or
It's like
which ones
I
are
think it's
there?
Orphans and Unicorn, so it's like two little short,
Oh,
like they're little
yeah.
standalone short like
Is the new
seasons.
ones.
Yeah,
Do you have Hulu?
I think I do because I have it in a tied to like other
Yeah, they
like
have
you know
a lot more Gundams.
I'll have to check
They
that
have a
out.
lot
then.
of anime on Hulu.
On Hulu.
It's really funny because when I first introduced My Hero Academia to Matt, we watched the latest movie,
Yeah.
and he was so shocked of all like the weebs coming into the cinema,
my
and all
God.
these kids like dress up
Like
Oh,
to the
as My
nines.
Hero.
Comic-Con.
Yeah, it was like Comic
In
Con.
a movie theater.
It was
yeah.
like, oh my god, like what's happening? And they're just like cheering, and some of them were crying. I'm like, yeah, this is like the weeb world. This is
Yeah.
like I'm introducing you to my kind of people.
It's funny they do the same thing with like I was thinking about this actually. You guys can appreciate this as well, just coming from multiple hobbies in this world. But even like the keyboard hobby to the headphone hobby to speakers to anime to there's like it's such a niche thing that people like dive in like and it's like crazy how far people go down that rabbit hole. Like no matter what the
Yeah.
hobby is, right? There's always going to be that weird 10%. Not that they're weird, but like the 10% that are just like they are
Hardcore.
yeah, like they're in it, man. They are going for it and that's they live, eat, sleep and breathe whatever that hobby is. Like so I've been to a couple Star Wars premieres for like the last stuff and same thing. Like people were dressed up as like Chewbacca. They actually had like stilts on so they'd be like
Oh,
9 feet tall and
Mhm.
like full like it was and like someone had like the Twi'lek like things and so yeah, I've been there. And I've been to Penny Arcade a couple times. It used to be a tradition of us to go to a like group of friends local in Seattle. Here we'd go to the Penny Arcade Prime. I don't know if you guys know what that. You know Penny Arcade. It's like a big gaming convention that was put on by Penny. It's a little web comic that they turned in. They got so big that they turned into their own gaming convention. They have board games and
Oh,
video
wow.
games, and they're in. God, they started in Seattle. They went there. Now they're in Texas. They're in Chicago. And I think, and they have a show in Australia as well. It's pretty crazy. Scott, let's see here. So apparently, I need to watch My Hero Academia, Academia.
Yeah.
And then so the other thing I watched the Demon Slayer thing, and I watched a bunch of the other random ones on Netflix. But yeah, so fun stuff. On the spot for both of you, I'm going to ask a quick on the spot question. Favorite video game past 10 years ago?
Elder Scrolls.
Oh, good one. Which one? The
Which
online?
one? The entire franchise,
The entire
but
franchise.
like since they haven't done anything in the past 10 years, I'm currently in love with online.
Very cool. Matt, you big? Are you a big gamer, Matt? You play a lot.
I don't know. I grew up kind of really into video games through friends and things like that, and yeah, I used to like stay up, over 24 hours playing MMOs and things like that. But once I got into music, that kind of took more
That
of my
became
attention. Yeah, and then like I'd still play games if I went to friends and stuff like that, but I no longer like bought games and things like that.
fair enough. I remember being a kid. Uh, speaking of 24/7, and I remember I had we remember back when you could rent video games. I don't know if you guys like so, and it was
Yeah.
Mega Man. I think it was Mega Man. Uh, which one was it? It was like Mega Man 2 or 3, and I had this buddy come over for a sleepover, and we were talking third grade, right? And I had a TV in my room and a Nintendo, and so I don't know if you, I don't know if I can get this to populate, but like
That's
like
so cute.
my entire arm is a Nintendo. On my right side is a Nintendo themed uh jam there, and then that's actually Samus and her suit's forming around her on my arm. And I have Mega Man too. I'd have to take my sweater off, but I have Mega Man here. I have Dr. Wily here, and I have Ninja Gaiden on the back of my arm here. But I remember staying up. Literally, it was like we stayed up for like, God, it would have been like 30+ hours playing Mega Man, trying to beat Mega Man. Because you couldn't just like, you had to get the codes, and you had to keep, so it wasn't like you could just keep playing. And so I remember that. That was like one of my defining moments as a gamer was playing Mega Man for like 30 hours straight, trying to beat it and getting the stupid the last levels are always hard because you have to play through all the bosses at once, like in a row, and then you have to fight like some random. I think it was like a dragon. So it must have. I'm really recollecting a dragon right now. So I think it must have been like in one of the later Mega Mans. But anyhow,
I had a similar story with Pokemon when it first came out for Game Boy. My friend got I think it was red version. I forgot which one, but it was the one that he got picked Squirtle, and then we just tried to like level up Squirtle the whole night. We didn't sleep.
max out Squirtle. Let's get him. Evolve that guy.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, like that's so freaking awesome. And then favorite game of the last year. Let's do that. Let's do favorite game of the last year.
Genshin Impact.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen. I noticed last night when I was messaging you guys to prep for this. Matt was kind of offline, but I see Marie Genshin Impact on Discord.
It's oh my god. I wouldn't recommend it for everyone since it's a gacha game. So it's basically like what do you call that?
Pay to play.
Yeah, not pay to play, but it's free to play. But then there's a gacha aspect. It's basically like gambling. So you gamble for the top tier characters
and items, I think.
Like
So
opening
that's how
loot
it gets
boxes
you.
and stuff like that. And if you want more loot boxes, you have to pay for it, or you have to just slowly build it up, kind of thing.
It's basically you have to pay for. You really have to pay for the top tier characters, and it's not that you can choose the characters; it's random.
Random, yeah.
So that's the gambling aspect of it.
I have a
it's pretty
game
fun.
that I play pretty regularly on my phone randomly. It's like one of those random things that I don't know how I picked this game up, but it's AFK Arena, which is very much that. And so it's like
okay.
on my phone, like it's just
Yeah.
and it's
like
so
an
dumb.
anime RPG.
Yeah, and it's
type,
kind of like
yeah.
Final Fantasy. Like your characters are loaded up. You just hit play. You literally do nothing. You hit play. It's auto, and then just they auto battle, and you're like, oh, I did things. And you're just basically it's the button clicking like game. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the game I played. But then another thing my favorite game of the past year for me was right now would be Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation. God,
I haven't played that one.
That was I've been waiting for a samurai game like that since I was a little kid. So that was a fantastic game.
Last year, I think I made you play Temtem.
Yeah.
Was that last year? So I was in like a beta test for a Pokemon-like game. So it's basically creature collecting, and you you level them up and you fight gyms and stuff like that.
It's like Pokemon.
Yeah, it's basically like Pokemon,
Yeah.
and like they even advertise it as like a Pokemon like game.
Yeah,
Pokemon
'cause
like.
it's the same, like pretty much the same concept exactly as Pokemon, just different characters,
style. Like the artwork is
different storyline, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you fight like gym owners and stuff like
And
that.
I basically made him like grind for me, like just level up my my creature.
Do this. So right now, like, so the big thing for Matt then is you like what's out of the tracks that I have for you guys. Like, I want to highlight one of Matt's tracks real quick if you don't mind. Sorry, I'm gonna do a quick divergence, and we'll add what track of the ones that you sent me would be the one that you'd want to share right now that you think would be a fun one. So we have Foo Fighters, Digital Jungle, Convergence, Moon Party, Night Walker, Our Way, Star Traveler, Strange Worlds, Paradise. I'm kind of drawn to Poppy 320.
That's our father.
yeah,
that's
sure.
our Father's Day track.
Yeah,
and
you can do that. It's reggaeton.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
reggaeton. It's very different from the other tracks that he made.
So which one would you recommend I play then? How about that? Let's put your
Play
favorite.
that one.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna hit play. Let everyone let us know if you can hear this. It might be a little bit loud. I can dig it. Can you guys hear it? Everybody hearing it? Or am I the only one hearing it?
I can't.
I'm like over here like jamming out. You guys like, you look retarded. What are you doing? Sorry, bad word. You look ridiculous. Scratch that. Edit that one out. So has the chat? Can the chat hear it? Hopefully, maybe. It looks like it's playing, so I think they can hear it, but you guys might not be able to. So that was 35 seconds of Poppy.
Yeah.
Copyright strike.
Yeah. Dang it. The bane of my existence. Not actually, kind of is a little bit because I have to be real careful with that. Not that I'm even remotely in that world, but actually we talked to Maria about this, about the thing that kind of catalyzed her into doing the design and art. So Matt, what was your catalyst for kind of doing music?
When I was growing up, I had two neighbors. One was literally my next door neighbor, and then my other friend was a house down. So pretty much, yeah, I grew up with them being my neighbors most of my childhood and into high school. 1 year, one of them got a guitar. And the next year, so he got it for Christmas. Then the next year, my other friend got a guitar for Christmas.
Like,
so...
I need one of those.
Now I'm the odd one out, so I gotta get a guitar.
Well, yeah. So that one of those was the same friend that I said we stayed up playing Pokemon. So we would hang out a lot after school and stuff, and on the weekends we're neighbors. So.
Jamming out on the guitars.
House. Well, yeah, they told me to play bass and we're gonna start a band. So I was like, okay.
You slap a little bass, do you?
I play a lot of instruments actually. Yeah. When I went to ask my parents for a bass, they told me no. So they let me get a guitar. So we had 3 guitars. And within like maybe 5 months of me getting a guitar, one of them switched to bass, and then probably within a year or so, they quit playing guitar and started rapping. And they said, screw this. And I had already invested so much time, and I was going into high school. So I wanted to find a band to join, so that kind of continued my focus as far as music, and they started rapping, and so I started rapping with them as well, and it was like kind of like, yeah, just like, I don't know, we made fun of stuff, Yeah. So we would remix songs and things like that, and that kind of opened my experience as far as like into some of the producing software and things like that. Yeah, and recording, and then yeah.
So actually that leads to the next thing. How do you guys or how do you, Matt, jumping into the music side of the house, how are you doing your production now? Are you doing it all, because I remember you were doing it like on your iPad and stuff.
Yeah, all right here.
pretty crazy.
That's kind of what allowed me to get into it at this level, is the technology is just so much cheaper and so much more convenient that
Accessible,
I literally did most of those songs like in my bed, like before bed, like
To Marie's chagrin, he's over here.
Yeah. Pretty much.
He'd like wake me up in the middle of the night and say, "Oh, I have a new song, like listen to it." I'm like, okay.
I know these feels, and my wife's always like, just go away. Babe, listen, this is a fantastic song. Listen. You heard these headphones? These are great. I don't care. Go away. That's perfect. So with that, like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, that's I think, like, with the technology that we have today, being able to just almost, like, you can literally, almost anybody can, with the right mindset and drive, can do anything, right? And
yeah, we're really fortunate. Yeah.
And with University of YouTube, you can learn almost anything.
I mean, that's how I learned how to do photography. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Like, that's like, I dove into photography, and I just basically just dove into it, and then read a couple books, watched a bunch of videos, and then took a epic crap ton of photos.
We didn't have those resources when I was in high school, so it was really hard, especially on the production side of things. Trying to do that, it was easier to play instruments and things like that.
Which I think is actually really key, because I think without having that hands-on of playing an instrument is really factors heavily too, I think, right? Because I don't know, maybe I'm being maybe gatekeepery with this, but like, being able to know what that guitar strum sounds like in real life, and or the bass drum, or the snare drum, or the bass, strumming of the bass, or the piano, those things. Like, I think that factors into, right? Like, if you've heard it in your experience in life, like, that can play even. It makes it easier. I think I would think it'd make it easier to be able to create music on a digital side of the house.
It definitely gives you a nice foundation, because there's a lot of producers actually that don't have music theory at all. And kind of like just throwing things together, and what sounds good to them, is what they put out. But yeah, if you have a foundation, you can do a lot more as far as like the direction you want to go and things like that. But also, I feel a lot of musicians that are like, with live instruments, they kind of have a stigma against producing. And so I feel like that limits them in that aspect. But when I feel like if you have an open mind and things like that, it's really an amazing world. Yeah.
Open-mindedness. I think that's the biggest problem with most of the most hobbies, most everything. Like,
yeah.
I always joke that's the people that think, so kind of goes back to video games a little bit. I always joke about how everyone's a protagonist in their own mind, and they forget that all the other people aren't NPCs, right? Like, but they have to realize that all those other people are also protagonists in their own stories. And so I think that's key, and it's being able to open your mind to that idea, like, right, wait, like, yeah, this is me, but wait, there's so many other people on their own separate paths forward. Pretty fun. And Marie, what do you use for your design and art and what have you? Like, what's like, kind of like, what is there a similar? Cause I'm not the most familiar with art, so like, as far as like creation, like for you, what's the that kind of thing? What are the things that you utilize to build your characters? Do you start with like a sketch and then slowly build them into a 3D thing? Does that make sense? Am I asking the right questions?
Yeah, it makes sense. So I just use an iPad to sketch stuff. So I usually use his iPad because when he's out working, it's at home, so I can utilize it.
Mhm.
So it starts out with a sketch, and I actually work with a lot of different artists to actually make the final artwork because I can sketch, but I can't really I can't do polished drawings or art. So all I have in my arsenal is just like my imagination.
That's all. Hey, that's what we need, though, right? And then it takes a team, right, to actually to flesh some of that stuff out as well. I think is really cool. Sorry, I'm eating cherries from my drink until I finish my drink. So, so like, and then as you guys came together with the ideas of the music and the art, you're also creating. So, like, I guess my next question in regards to your guys' story side of the house, what's the progression that you see your artwork and your music progressing in the future? Because it looks like you have like really cool stories coming up. You have like there seems like so much potential there as well. Like in my head, I could easily see you guys making a cool little children's book to making a video game to there's so many cool things you could do with it.
Yeah, I think like the goal, I don't know how far it's probably far off into the future, but we'd really like to make video games. But the idea started out as like making comic books or a manga with the creatures and stuff, and then the music accompanies the person as he reads the comic book. Like
It would be
Woodward
tied like
Isles.
chapters or something like
Yeah, like Woodward Isles is actually a location in the Binirias realm. So the story of Binirias is this ordinary girl in our world. She gets transported to a fantasy world full of creatures, and she lands in Woodward Isles. So that's why that first theme song is titled Woodward Isles, and it's the bass. It's like how do I say it? Like it's really heart pumping, and it's like really aggressive because she gets actually when she lands there she gets chased by like the bad guys automatically. So that's why Woodward Isles is the way it is.
Very
like
cool.
sound wise.
Yeah, so it gives you that tense the tense feeling that you would get if you were in this transport to this new place, and all of a sudden you're unfamiliar and you have things coming at you that are scary potentially, and you're running, and it kind of gives you that feel. That was the first track we played earlier on with the from the start actually, which that was one of the first tracks you guys ever shared with me, and I shared with a bunch of people, and it was actually a fun story with that was we were all trying to guess where the bass was coming from. Like what the instrument was that created the bass. This was a fun thing because everyone's like, "Oh, it's got to be X, Y, and Z, right?" And then it was the surprise was Matt. What was the instrument you used to create that bass? Because it was it's intense.
It's a cello.
It's a really cool. Actually, I'm gonna probably let me do that real quick. I'm gonna pull that track real quick, and then we'll listen to the Woodward Isles. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit so it has like that bass and kind of moving forward. So I'll move it up to like let's say 30 seconds. I think that's when the bass really is kicking. Or do you want me to start from the beginning? Let's start from the beginning. We'll start from the beginning. Here we go. We're live with the music. She's landed on the Woodward Isle. A little tense. And then, oh, what's that? So you guys can't hear it, but I can hear it. So the bass you guys are hearing, this is gonna be loud. It's on my side of the house. It's a little bit loud. Let me bring it down a little bit so it's not peaking for you guys. But that bass that you're hearing there, like that it's a cello, which is so crazy, it's so cool. And it's very foreboding kind of music, right? Like it's without being overly, it's not scary music. It just has that foreboding music, which I think there's a definitive difference, right? Like which is good. Like I think it sounds cool too. And everyone that's
it's not exactly horror music.
yeah, it's not horror music. It has but there is like that kind of tenseness to it, right? Which is really cool. I think you did a good job with that.
Yeah, how I imagine it when she lands there, like of course for Stella, the main character, is that she's scared, she's confused, but for the viewer, when we look at Woodward Isles, like we see how beautiful it is. Like I imagine it's like cliffs and just like really nice flora and fauna, like with glowing mushrooms and stuff like that, and like very interesting flowers. So we tried to inculcate that in the music, that although she's scared and you can hear like the bass sort of like her heart pumping because she's being chased and like she's in unfamiliar territory, the viewer still sees the beauty of this unfamiliar territory.
And so let me do this real quick. So I'm gonna web browser. I'm gonna hide us, and I'm gonna put there you go. Bring this back up. And so this is the main character, right? And so right now I'm showing your web page, the main character. She has I'm going to butcher this again. Mumi.
Yep. And that's actually that's when they land in Woodward Isles. So,
and so she finds this dragon creature, right?
Well, that's the interesting thing. It's actually her plushie.
It's her plushie. Oh.
Yeah. So Mumi is actually she's an endangered species, and there's only one left in Binirias. So what people did to actually like save her, because she has like really great powers. So there were tons of evil people like after her. So what they did, the white mages, what they did is they transported her into a different realm, which is our world, in plushie form. So Stella, like sort of like, I haven't like thought about how they met or how she found Mumi, but but like so she's the owner of the plushie Mumi.
Little Mogwai action.
Yeah, and like after a few years, the evil people found a way to bring Mumi back into Binirias, and sort of additionally brought Stella with Mumi.
And in so doing, brought her along with.
Yeah.
And then from here, like I'm gonna scroll down a little bit so you guys can see this let me actually bring this image and kind of I gotta make this wonky. I did totally make this wonky. So you can kind of see here as I scroll down, you can kind of see some of the artwork. I'm kind of scrolling through that and how your artwork kind of plays into the look of these, like the different, like the keycaps, for instance. It's just
we have
really
a bunch of like stickers and
the stickers,
creature cards,
the really cool cards, like the character cards, and you can even do that. Like I can totally see that too, like where it would be a really cool card. What do they call those? Card collecting games, CCGs, like kind of deal.
Yeah, that's actually like one of the plans. So these are just their profile cards. So we plan on making like move or attack cards for them too. That would be really fun to do. But right now we're still in like infancy stage of the whole concept and the whole brand, so we're taking things slowly, and hopefully
it's a marathon, not a sprint. I always tell people this: it's a marathon, not a sprint. And I actually ran a couple marathons back in the day, and I can attest to the training it takes to get to levels of marathon running versus like say like a mile run. In fact, my I did a Hood to Coast run relay race, which is Mount Hood in Oregon. You start there and you run all over the coast of Oregon with the team, and that was pretty intense. And then I did Walt Disney World's Goofy, so that was the you start with a half marathon, and then the next day you do a full marathon. And it's like literally in 24 hours you're roughly running 32 miles, I think, plus.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so
one of my friends did that, one of the PTs over at your company, he couldn't walk the next day.
Oh yeah.
Like after
my wife was like, "What's that? Do you hear that screen door creak?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" It was my Achilles tendon. It was every time I walked. Yeah, it was bad. Like it was gnarly. It took a while to kind of recoup from that, but it was worth it. I think at the end of the day, like it was a really fun experience. And then running through like the Walt Disney World castles and stuff, and like just the whole premise of it was really, really cool. I really enjoyed that. Well worth doing, like one of those lifetime things. Like, oh, I bucket list. I did a thing.
At least it wasn't one of those swimming ones where they get stung by jellyfish and.
So my brother is the reason I did it, and he did that, the triathlete stuff. And so he has a fun story. He did the whole thing. He got to the biking portion. He's riding his bike, and he has his helmet on, and he's got his glasses. And a hornet or a bee went through and went perfectly into like little slit, like right in the center. He had a little hole right in his helmet, like perfectly, and it literally went into that hole and then stung him like right on the top of his head. And he went into like shock and everything because like because you're already like got the ends of your kind of like body is like you're putting it to an extreme, and then you get hit with the poison, and he was just like. So yeah, funny how that works out. So sorry, once again, I have that wonderful rabbit hole sidetrack thing that I do. With the back to you guys. Let's talk about you guys some more. With I know you guys just came out with the new character. The little I like to think he's the rock character. But to me, like, I don't know why, but I keep thinking of him like a cushy boy. I don't know why. You know what I mean? Like you just want to. It looks like somebody you just want to hug. You know, like you just want to give him a big hug or her big hug. They're super cute.
Yeah. So that's Floxy. So it's
Floxy.
named after a real life plant. Actually, oh my god, I can't even say the scientific name, but it's a flower that grows on rocks, and it's purple. Yep, and
purple. I love purple.
Yep, we love purple. Yeah, so he is also like an endangered species. So his brain matter is actually made out of a very very rare crystal. So poachers often go out and hunt them. So there's very few of them left, and Floxy was actually separated from his herd trying to run away from poachers. And he runs into Stella and Moomy running away from the bad guys. And he sort of just like helps them out because he's like he's familiar with the Woodward's territory. So he helps them out, and he helps them like escape the bad guys.
And I believe they're really big.
Yeah, they grow really big. So
like rock giants kind of deal.
Yeah, like this is his first evolution actually. So he's 3 feet tall right now, and he eats mushrooms, so that's why you can see him holding mushrooms. But he gets bigger, and his brain gets bigger as well. So in our future artworks of the next evolutions, you can see them like have really like crystals growing out of their heads.
Oh, like a kind of like a cool, like maybe like a crown-esque kind of thing, or like horns, or.
Yep.
I'm a big Star Wars fan, so I instantly was thinking like it'd be cool, like the Darth Maul style, right, where you have the cool like crown, like but crystals, and like be really cool, or even have like be like a, or even Game of Thrones, the Ice King, where it's like the cool.
Yeah, that's super cool.
But
so that's the plan.
Speaking of Star Wars. Something I learned recently was that the lightsabers have crystals in them.
Yep, Kyber crystals. That's actually exactly what I was thinking. As soon as you guys mentioned the crystals in the brain, I was like, Kyber crystal. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Have you seen The Mandalorian?
Oh, dude, this is the way. This is the way. I'm a huge Mandalorian fan. I actually have the action figures. I can go. I'll go grab them because I also need to grab some whiskey real quick to sip on. Sip on. But I actually have in my possession. Of course, I'm that nerd that has them unboxed and not actually out of the box. But I actually have.
Ooh.
There's the the Mandalorian, and the child with the frog to eat.
It is actually the act. I
Yes,
love Game of
I am a
Thrones.
bit of a. So the things that I love, to give you an idea, the things I love are I'm a huge Star Wars guy, but the thing that I grew up watching was GI Joe, and sorry, you're gonna see my messy room. It's a little bit crazy right now, but I also have
Teenage
a
Ninja Turtles.
almost 4 foot Ninja Turtle in my room. It keeps me coming, and then behind me, it's gonna be hard to see, but like the I don't know if it's even a focus, but this whole shelf here is all Ninja Turtles between Funko Pop, and I have the entire Lego Ninja Turtle series, and then I have a bunch of Star Wars stuff, Rick and Morty, that kind of thing. I'm a little all over the place, but big Star Wars Ninja Turtle fan. Love the old school video games as well. I have a cool Mega Man that's cool. Actually, one of my other claim to fame is I'm a huge Samus from like. Have you ever played Metroid? You know, like
I've
this.
not.
No.
Yeah.
So, of course, I have the Mega Man. My daughter loves this. She steals it from me all the time. In fact, the batteries are dead because it lights up. It's a RGB Mega Man. But my daughter loves stealing it from me and turning on the light. But this is a Metroid from the game Super Metroid, and I actually have a replica Metroid. Oh, cool. And they are creepy, kind of like a face hugger to some level. Yeah. And I actually have on my arm there a Metroid. Oh.
What really sold me with Mandalorian, like what sold Matt was Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda is my yeah. Even my daughter knows Baby. She's like, well, like Halloween and Christmas, they had all the Baby Yoda everything, and she's like, oh, Baby Yoda. She never watched the show, by the way, ever. She just instantly was like, oh, Baby Yoda.
But what sold me was that Mandalorian, the actor that plays him, was one of my favorite characters in Game of Thrones. But then he got, he died pretty quickly. So I was very happy to like see him again in Mandalorian.
That scene, by the way, still gives me nightmares. Like the scene where the head and the oof.
Yeah.
Or even like when he gets hit and his teeth go oof. Yeah. Not fun. Not a fun scene. So pop culture then for you guys, what's one of the current favorite shows then for you guys right now? Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because I don't really watch a lot of shows.
I'm with you.
I just play video games.
I'll randomly, like I said, I randomly binge watch shows.
Yeah. Have you seen Next?
Next.
I enjoyed that one.
I don't know if I've seen that one. Sounds familiar though.
It was on forgot what, Fox or no.
I think it's in Hulu. Or
it's on Hulu now.
On Hulu, yeah.
But I was watching it when it was playing.
It's about that rogue AI.
Yeah.
Something?
Oh.
It's
okay.
Someone made an AI. Well, he was a billionaire. He made an AI, and then he didn't want it to get out, and the company pretty much kicked him out of his own company, and his brother was involved in it, and then the AI does what he knew it would do.
It became too intelligent.
Yeah, and so then the FBI gets involved, and it's him working with FBI, but pretty much they're all outcasted from like the FBI and things like that, so they're working against the law and whatever to try to
like stop this AI.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense.
And the actor in it was he was like the son of the boss from Mad Men. I don't know if you saw that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I like that guy as an actor.
Gotcha. I'm older, so if that wasn't a known thing.
What wasn't?
Oh, that he's older.
So like my current favorite actors right now are of course The Rock. The Rock's one of my all time. He's so my staples are like The Rock and Ryan Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is another favorite. Like those two are probably my top two favorites. I'm a big fan of also wow, why am I blanking on his name right now? I will pull it up, and I guarantee you he is in here somewhere. Dave Bautista.
Oh, yeah.
Really like Dave Bautista. So those kind of guys are some of my favorites right now. Anything those guys are in. But as far as shows that I've been watching
Bruce
recently,
Willis movies.
What's that?
I've been watching a lot of Bruce Willis movies.
Oh, dude, Bruce
He's
Willis.
like obsessed
Bruce Willis
with Bruce Willis movies.
Bruce Willis is the man. I will agree with that dude. That dude's awesome. Trying to think who else.
There was one with him and Bautista, and yeah, I forgot what it was. They were both cops.
Yes.
Or no, he was the bad guy. Bruce Willis was the bad guy, but
Batista's
the good guy. Yeah, I just watched it, and Bautista was like an FBI guy, right? And Bruce Willis was like the rich banker.
Yeah.
I just watched that too. Fantastic. And then what other? I watched something recently. I've gotten way into. I want to get in. I'm getting ready to start. It was the new kind of like semi horror / Sherlock Holmes TV show on Netflix. I'm excited about that. Let me see if I can remember the name of it. But it's not Sherlock Holmes. It's basically Watson gets all these kids off the street to basically go investigate all these like mysteries. So it looks really cool because it's like a really cool like mix of characters. And then I also added the Irregulars. The Irregulars is the name of it. The Irregulars. And it's kind of like London, old school with like the old that 18th century style, 18th turn of the century, 19th century kind of look. And there's like a mixed bag of characters that are like kind of like the A Team, but like all these young street kids kind of thing, and they're solving mysteries. So always fun, that kind of thing. But I think it's like semi horror because they're like diving into like the like mystical stuff like ghosts and things, Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
and stuff.
that would be interesting, yeah.
But yeah.
What was that one show that you liked? That was
Penny Dreadful.
Oh, that's
it's also a period. Because I love the lead actress. What's her name? Green,
yeah, she's fantastic. I know
Eva
exactly
Green. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
She's
about. I actually
so
started
good.
watching that myself, and what did I get? I got like a couple bits into it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm not the biggest horror fan. Like, I don't like horror stuff. So as soon as it starts going somewhat sideways, I'm like, I know my brain will just start picking up on it, and I'll have weird dreams for like the next couple nights.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. But what I like about it is because I'm also a big fan of the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
And the characters there were people
Very
from
similar.
the League. Yeah.
Yeah, because Damian Gray, right? Is that one of the guys?
Yeah.
And he's like he lives forever, but it's based on the painting and
Yeah,
everything.
with the painting, yeah. And the guy who he's 007, he's like the old 007.
Sean Connery?
He's
No,
no.
not him.
The lead, the older guy in Penny Dreadful.
Mm-hmm.
So Mike Murray or something.
Oh, yeah, he was like the
Sir
second or
Michael
third.
Murray. Yeah,
James
he was
Bond.
like Eva Green's
Father
adoptive
figure,
father figure and stuff like that. He plays like Captain Nemo, like
Captain Nemo.
he's the Captain Nemo equivalent in League. So that was very fun to watch.
Very cool. I'll start that back up again because I think I only got like a couple episodes into it. That one's really good. And then like that kind of same thing. I really like the more new age Sherlock Holmes stuff with Cumberbatch. Doctor Strange character.
Oh yeah,
So that was really good.
That I think it's Sherlock.
It's just
Is
called
that the
Sherlock,
title?
yeah, and it's like
Sherlock,
into like today's era. And there was another one that I really wanted to watch, but it never came to any things. Was the one with where Lucy Liu was Watson, and it was the guy.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know what I'm talking about? It's like I think it was like a Fox show, but I can't remember what show series. But that one I've always wanted to watch it, but it's never come to any of the streaming services that I have.
Yeah.
So it's always like, Anyways, sorry. I'm sorry. I tend to go off topic. I don't know if that was apparent yet. But just but that's what we're here for. Having a fun time, having a cool chat, and
Pretty chill.
yeah, just chill, having fun with friends and chatting about cool things that we like to talk about, and also getting to know you guys.
It's so funny that you say like you're older, but I always thought like we were the same age because I'm actually old. It's like the Asian in me. I don't look old.
That's fair.
But Matt's just like, no, I think Tyler is older. I'm like, no, I think we're like the same age.
I'm pretty old.
Okay,
I'm pretty old.
Saying our age now. What's our age?
I got gray hairs. I got gray. I don't know if you noticed. And I shave, but I have, and the camera does a lot of justice for me. Like the camera is giving me a lot of benefits that I probably do not have in real life. But I'm pretty gray. I have a nice grayness here. I'm in my late 30s. So that's where I'm
in my mid 30s.
Well, but I will say this: my wife is in her early 40s, and she looks very much so. And she's a Filipina as well, and so she looks. And everyone always gives her crap because she's in these high business things, and they're like, "Oh, who's this?" I remember one time someone called her like, "Oh, we're waiting for your boss to show up," and they assumed she was like the secretary. And she was like, "And who is the boss again?"
That's so funny.
But yeah, so anyways, sorry, random fun stuff. What's I was gonna say what was another thing that would be a fun thing to I noticed on your guys' like the Discord and everything that plants are pretty prevalent. I remember we were discussing plants for a long time. I mean, it always seems like food.
There's a plant channel in it.
The plant channel and food channel seem to be the ones that I gravitate to. So
that was actually one of the mods made that channel.
Yeah. Because one of our friends was like really into plants. And we sort of like one of our mods who likes to like tease our friends. He was like, let's make a plant channel for him, but I'm pretty sure like no one's gonna talk there. It's just gonna be him. But it blew up. Yeah. Like everyone was just like talking there. So it was pretty funny.
Because you have the other friend that has like the full garden. Like I remember it was she was like posting constantly in her garden, her mom's or her family's garden too. It's like, oh my gosh. So yeah, it's pretty crazy how that works. And we're being called kids now. We're all babies and kids to some of the guys. and
I'm always like used to being like whenever I join Discord servers, I'm used to be like being one of the oldest. Like in Alex's server, like yeah, that's why people like the kids there call me auntie.
That's funny, which is a thing in the Filipino culture, auntie.
Like you see a middle-aged woman, auntie.
It's yeah. I have some fun stories about my daughter with that stuff. She has a couple aunties that she loves very much. But actually, speaking of food, how about this? What's the most recent favorite food you guys have partaken in? It's like your let's say like the thing that you constantly want to have now. Like the latest craving. There we go. Latest craving.
She always wants crepes.
Well,
yeah,
delicious.
The sweet crepes.
Sweet savory crepes or just sweet crepes?
Just sweet. I like them. There's this place and they make them with matcha whipped cream with red
like
bean
custard
and
sounds like a bearded papa almost.
So
have you ever had a bearded
make
papa?
It like a cone. It's in a cone.
Yeah, so it's like really easy to eat because it's
like ice cream
like
cone, like almost like a burrito crepe with cream filling instead of beans and cheese and meat. Oh, nice focals, by the way, says Twingwin. He actually just got a set of those recently.
Ooh, this is actually a gift from someone named Tyler.
Hey, it's I thought you guys needed some fun headphones. You guys were pretty awesome, so. So actually that's a good lead into another thing. Now that you guys have had a couple of headphones now, like what was that jump like, even going from like what was the headphones you had prior to these, and then how's that experience with those headphones specifically from what you've had before? I'm curious about that, actually. I've been wanting to ask about that.
I think you're the best person to answer that question. Because I only use these I haven't used like his old ones.
Yeah.
But not like as much as you, so I can't really tell.
It's okay. It's funny, one of those things with music, and I've noticed this too as well. It's like with audio, it's funny as until you get it's weird. Like it's once heard, it's hard to unhear. I guess would be a way to say it, right? Like,
yeah. When I first started learning music, and then I could start like differentiating different instruments, it really changed how I heard music. Songs I liked before I didn't like, songs I didn't like I liked. Changed my taste, kind of. Yeah.
and that's not crazy too. Like when you get into that, that's one of the things I love. Like I'm in the hobby of headphones or whatever because of the music, not because of the headphones or the speakers, right? Like I love music. that's why I don't love I love the gear too, of course, but the driving force is the music, right? And so for me, like having different headphones and being able to hear the music that I love in different ways, or that I have maybe I didn't perceive before, like these ones are highlighting stuff that I never heard before in that same track, is like it's such a crazy experience to me. Like it's such a, I call it chasing the audio dragon.
Yeah. You hear all the little subtleties.
Yeah, like the other day, I have the pair of stacks that another guy sent me. I don't know if you ever heard of stacks, but like the E-stats. Not my favorite thing in the world, but even those are super detailed. But you'll hear things like the guy was strumming the bass, right, in one of my favorite tracks, and it's a stand-up bass, and he's going to town, and you can hear the heel of his palm hitting the bass. Where I couldn't hear that in certain other, I heard it with some of my other headphones, but not as crisply as I did with these E-stats. And it was crazy. It was like, oh my, like you can actually hear the palm like hitting the like the wood, and it was a really cool, like just those little things, right? Like those little things. It's such a cool thing with music.
It's like Easter eggs.
Yeah, like Easter eggs, exactly. Yeah.
The first time that I played live, having an instrument like turned up to such a volume, that was different, because things that normally wouldn't be like kind of like maybe a mess up, or just like any little detail of how I moved or touched the guitar would be amplified through the amp. So that was different, than just practicing in your room at a low volume versus, on a stage,
That's actually very apt too. Like once things become amplified or actually pushed to like where you're hearing things, even you as like you're let's say acoustic, right? Like you're on your acoustic guitar and you're strumming away and you're practicing, you're having a good time, but then all of a sudden you go and you plug like let's say it has the ability to be plugged into, like you said, an amplifier and be able to play, and then all of a sudden you're hearing all these other things, like it's the reverb of the strings. You're hearing that maybe that you did hit the guitar with your palm, and all of a sudden you're getting that reverb, or you're getting like, it's crazy, right? How there's so many little things. I remember in one track I was listening to, and it freaked me out because I thought someone was sneaking up on me, but I heard somebody walking in the background of the track. And I think I heard him like talk, but it was super minimal, but it was enough to where, and it was the way the imaging worked. It actually, in the headphones I had at the time, I think it was the H800s I was listening to, and like I full on like goosebumps and was like, like, oh god, who's sneaking up on me?
That's funny. Yeah.
So it's crazy, man. Like that's the things that are so much fun with like these things, and even in video games, right? Like I remember, God, what was it I had that was fantastic experience? I was playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and it was such a stupid experience in the sense of like what it was. But I remember walking down this or up a staircase or a hallway, and I heard a torch on the wall, like the flame noise, like a crackling fire, and it was like, and I heard it like move. Like as I walked past, you know what I mean? Like I actually heard it like move in 3D space around me, and then I literally spent like 20 minutes like trying to like get you know what I mean? Like and hearing it like move, and I remember just sitting there going, "Oh, I'm that guy. I'm the guy staring at a wall, listening to music." And like if it was like a multiplayer game, they'd be like, "Who's this idiot?" Like just spinning in a circle, listening to freaking, I don't know. But I was like totally blown away by that. It was such a fun experience.
It's like
Just
when
super
you're
unique.
playing like Matt plays a lot of Valorant too,
Mhm.
and I guess like it's very important that you have your headphones on because
Yeah.
you have to hear like
Hear people
footsteps.
coming
Footsteps are
behind
important.
Yeah.
you or what
Mhm.
side of the room they're coming from.
Yeah.
I actually like the headphones too for movies. It
Mhm.
really enhances the experience of a show.
Yes, 100%.
Especially like certain animes too, where they have a certain band or it's you know what I mean, where like maybe one band for the show and things like
Mhm.
that.
Actually, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send you guys a pair of to check out, and let me if you're okay with it. I'm gonna send you my Mobiuses. I think you guys would dig on that, if you don't mind. I don't know that.
Not at all.
Yeah, Tyler, Dick. What?
If you have to.
Yeah. I have a pair. Yeah, because I don't really use them, and so and those were the headphones I was using when I heard that fire thing, and they have a built-in
Oh my God.
DSP, and so they're an Odyssey Mobius. I don't know if you heard of them. And they're gaming. There's gaming specific, and they're gaming and movie specific, but they do a simulated 3D thing, and it's
nice.
so. And then they have a room thing, right? So the reason I was having that is they have this thing where they have a head tracking. So you have to download an app on your computer to do it properly. But so when you move your head like this, like either way, the room stays static. So like so if your speakers are here, right? Like sorry, I have to get my camera here. So if your speakers are here and you move your head like this, the speakers stay here. Whereas in normal headphones, and you plugged in, when you turn, the whole room turns with you. These are actually like a proper, like you're in a 7.1 surround sound stereo movie theater.
That's crazy.
It acts like, and so if like, let's say you're playing Valorant and someone's shooting at you from the left, if you turn your head, the sound still comes from the left, but you're looking this way, right? Like it's kind of that kind of thing. Really, really cool experience. So I think you guys would dig on that. I think that'd be a fun one for you guys to check out. I think it'd be fun. And movies are fantastic with it. So let's see. Someone asked Scott. Oh, so Andrew S. Love the focals. I'm thinking of adding a pair of ZMF Verite clothes, which I love. I don't know if I'm a big fan. These are my purple ZMFs.
That's so pretty.
And these are the Sho Shugi Bond style. So they're ashwood that have been Japanese. They do take a torch. So Zach took a torch to it, and it adds that burn like style look to it. On my Instagram, you can see I did a couple pictures with them. You can kind of see that grain better, but you can kind of see it there a little bit.
And of course, it's purple.
Duh. Someone asked me the other day, "Is like, how long have you loved purple?" I'm like, well, I love Donatello's my favorite Ninja Turtle, so. Since the 80s. So, but yeah, ZMF Verite clothes though are fantastic. And they're sorry, I was trying to say like that. I actually was having a chat with somebody about this. In fact, actually, sorry, random. My cable, my HDMI cable for my camera right now, it's an actual purple HDMI cable. Sorry, ADHD. Yeah, thing. But the Verite closed are fantastic. The monkey pods are really good. They're more V-shaped though. But anyways, random. Sorry, answering that question. Right back to Army ADI2. Another Army ADI2 is fantastic as well. Same with that Mini iPro 3 is pretty cool. Sorry, I'm getting into weird headphone topics. And tubes definitely rule. Have you guys had a chance to like? So sorry, my messy room, and I'm scrunching. I don't know if you guys seen them. Like I'm using a monitor arm for my camera, but anyways, I got this in for loan. It's a Felix Elise, and this is my primary one. It's a hybrid tube amp. But tubes are fantastic. If you guys ever get the chance, I should probably see about getting a demo to you guys to try out some fun audio stuff.
So with guitars, they also have tube amps.
I was about to say that yes. Yeah. It just adds this nice. I'm a tube fan. Like I probably need to get like a tube at some point tattooed onto me to finish up some. But tubes are just, it's like peanut butter and jelly or peanut butter and chocolate. Like they just, music and tubes, just for whatever reason, just they
Just work well together.
Yes. Same with the good, like, so like Matt, you can tell like with the amps, with the tube amps, they tend to just give you that little bit more dynamics. They give you a little more, just
like
I call it emotion. Like they give you the emotion back to it, where sometimes solid states will just not. They kind of miss that emotion a little bit. Anyways, sorry. Also, booze. I busted out. I've been seeking out this I.W. Harper whiskey recently, and I want the 15-year-old, but it's hard to find, and it has a cool bottle. But so this one I found this one, I picked up and trying it out. But yeah, it's fun. Anyways, actually, I want to open up to you guys. You ask me questions. Let's switch this around. Let's flip this. Let's flip the script.
Yeah, I got questions for you, but
paper.
Pull out the list. I saw the list.
Actually, it's on my phone. The real list.
The real list.
But let me grab us. We're out of drinks too. I'm gonna just run down.
Okay. Yeah, but like well, Matt is away for the drinks. Let me show you my purple collection.
Ooh, I do love the purple stuff. Give me that purple stuff.
Oh, this is like heavy.
You even have a purple keyboard. I'm super jealous right now.
Yep. And my favorite artisan keycaps. So
that is
really
fantastic. You have so many cool keycaps too. I love the little the escape keycap. I can't remember the name of that one, but you have a bunch of those. They have like the cool hands.
Observer. These specific keycaps, observers. Mm-hmm. It's like he has his hands like
he's kind of like
scratching his eyes or like
super cool.
It's interesting because the guy that makes the sculpt is he's a forensics expert or something. So each of his sculpt is inspired by his job and the things that he sees in his job.
That's pretty crazy.
Got a new one.
Watermelon it looks like a starburst. That sounds delicious. A watermelon beer is so good.
And this is my other purple keyboard. So this is the candy bar.
See, how do you like the candy bars? What's your thought on those?
They're just for display. I can't type on them. Like there's no there's a number pad, but I need to have the exclamation point and stuff like that. So I mean, because I write a lot, so I need to have those. So they're just on display right now.
They're really beautiful. So the only ones that I have, so keyboard wise, I just got into. I don't know if you guys probably heard that. It's because I unplugged my one custom keyboard that I currently have that I actually soldered myself. Was I have the Austin from Drift Mechanics V2, I believe. This thing's heavy, by the way. Like I could full on, if someone was trying to run up my stairs, I could drop this on somebody's head and it would not be a good day for them. And you can kind of see. Let's see here. Is it gonna do it? It's not gonna do it. It's like, hey, I see you behind there. I see your face. It's back there. It's not gonna do it. But camera's like, nope. I see your head still. God dang it, camera.
Market prices for Austin is pretty ridiculous.
Are they pretty ridiculous? I haven't even looked, to be honest with you. And I went with the Iron Man because whatever. But I actually have. I also got I got lucky and I got the. Which cable is which? So I have two computers on my desk right now for editing. So I have a Mac Mini that I use for editing video and software or photos, and then I have my gaming PC. Which one's which? I think this one's it. So I don't know which one it is. But yeah. So what a fantastic experience. You've built your own keyboards. That's such a cool experience, being able to build something. I did the same thing with my Bottlehead Crack tube amp. I built that and soldered it all together, and it was such a fun experience. And it's when you build the thing, actually, you guys are perfect examples of this as creators. When you actually build a thing like with your own hands, from music to a keycap to a coaster to all these things, like it means so much more, right? Like there's this like tangible like difference between that thing, even if it's the exact similar thing to another thing. This one that you built with your hands will just mean like there's an attachment, emotional attachment. There's also I don't know. So how's that for you guys? Like that emotional like how that experience of building a thing and like seeing it go out into the world. I mean, which is even more so for you guys because you're actually producing like creative things that are going out into the world.
It feels very fulfilling, like you said. Like there's an emotional attachment, like to each and every piece that, like for example, I make, like with keycaps and like the art and stuff. But at the same time, it's also very scary because you're putting your art out there and it means something to you, and there will be people that don't like it, and you'll hear or read about those people talking shit about your stuff, and of course it hurts.
Yeah,
so like the first time like people talk trash about Moomy, like it hurt a lot, but then I've just like grown to get used to, or like grown to not listen to those noise, and like just focus on what I'm doing and not get like, oh, they want this kind of thing, so I'm gonna like make Moomy into this thing, but that's not gonna work out, I guess, in terms of like staying happy about what I do and being able to have like my creativity flow.
I agree. Even with like photography and stuff. So that's something actually I've been kind of, luckily in wisdom or what have you, the ability to be like, to stop, look at a criticism, right? Like that's what I'm gonna call them criticisms, even though sometimes they're not that. They're literally just hateful things usually.
Yeah.
But like, and to look at it and go, yeah, not gonna engage in that, and I'm gonna continue doing me. I'm just gonna, because I think at the end of the day, when you just do you and just focus on being, this is me, and this is, and by me I mean like an individual, like so you, Marie being Marie and Matt being Matt. Like if you just continue just being you, like I think that's when people resonate, right? Like that's when people go, yeah, these are cool people, or these are people I can get along with, and the people that don't, well.
Yeah, exactly. Like
so that's something I think is really important to focus on for anybody in this space, right? Too, like when you have detractors or you have people that aren't really into what you're doing, it's fine. It's okay. They can go focus on what they do like, and exactly. We'll continue doing what we like. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's I think that's important to not focus on those things, because when you focus on those things, that's when you start to go into dark places or go into play, and it's not a good place to be. So I think that's a very important aspect that every creator needs to focus on. And I don't really consider myself like I mean, I take photos, so I mean, I guess there's that creator aspect as well. But like for you guys are creating art, like proper art, And so I think it's important for people like yourselves as well to like focus, just be you, man, because you're making beautiful things, and continue making those beautiful things. Why,
Thank you.
Don't let those people detract from what you're doing.
Exactly.
I do love your photographs, though, Tyler. I definitely think that's art.
It's a learning experience. Where it's kind of, actually, this is a perfect example. I think it's similar to what you guys are doing in one way, right? Where, and I think you'll hopefully be able to relate to what I'm about to say. Every time Matt, like you create a music piece, and every time Marie, you create a new art piece. For me, like whenever I take a picture, it's a new learning experience. Like I learn something new almost every single time I do that. It's such a cool thing. That's why I love it so much, right? Like that creation or that art, or the art. I've always loved art, but like it's such a cool thing being able to have that where you learn. You're constantly learning new things. You're constantly evolving. We're like true life Pokemon.
like Matt says that all the time whenever he like makes music, and like every time like he makes a beat, he always says like, oh, like I just I just learned this technique and now my workflow is so much easier and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like it's a constant learning experience, and that's what's exciting and fulfilling about like creating stuff.
I yes, like it's such a that part of it, right? Where that's something I've always been a big fan of. Like, if I'm not learning something, then what's the not necessarily what's the point, but like kind of like when I stop learning things, I think that's probably the day that I'm probably gonna, you know, you know what I mean? Like if I stop learning things, and I'm just kind of just chugging along, like. Like that's my goal in life is to just constantly be pushing against those learning limits or like pushing into like what else is out there, what so I guess this ties into another thing is like experiences, right? Like I think experiences in life are what really bring everything together. Going out and trying new foods that you never thought of, like expanding your experiences, going out and like, oh, that looks gross, but is it? Have you tried it? Have you put it in your mouth? Like as it? Sorry, that was probably awkward. Have you? Don't just put random things in your mouth. Just don't do that. But like food wise, like let's say you're not into seafood, right, or sushi, maybe give it a go, give it a try, right? Like because it's personally, I think it's amazing and delicious. But I mean, until you try it, you'll never know, right? So. Right. I don't know. That's my. I'm a big fan of that. Like, and that was something my dad always pushed on. So we'd go travel or whatever, even when whatever, and he'd be the guy that wouldn't go to the local spots. He'd be like, okay, let's go into the real world, and he'd go out into the community and be like, where do you guys eat? Where do you guys drink? What do you guys eat? What do you guys drink? And he would go, and so that was always something. Even when I'd go to like any other country that I ever go to, even my wife's were big on this too. Like, so we went to Thailand or we'd go to Singapore, where we would try to find the local spots, not the tourist spots. And you know, like that to me is such
a lot cheaper.
And they're exponentially cheaper and usually a lot better. Like and then they're genuine. Like the people there tend to be, not that the other people aren't genuine, but like there's a homeliness to it. There's a comfort there that's just a fantastic way of being, right? So I don't know. That's sorry. We totally went on a totally different tangent. I went on a totally different tangent. You guys were fine.
I got your questions ready.
Yes, let's do this.
Okay, so what got you into music?
So I was a kid. My dad constantly listened to music everywhere. So I grew up surfing, snowboarding, skateboarding. My dad was a original like skater from back in like the it would have been the 60s. He was one of those guys that took the boxcar thing. You remember Back to the Future? Did you ever watch Back to the Future as kids? And you remember when the scene when I think it was 2 or 3, where he has the kick, like the scooter thing, and he busts it off and he turns it into a skateboard? That was my dad. He was one of the original skateboarders back in the day. And surfers. He surfed with the O'Neill brothers back in the day in Santa Cruz. So every time we'd go anywhere, he was constantly listening to a Walkman, a stereo. Like there was music 24/7 in our house. Like it was just that's how my dad lived his life. So therefore it kind of, and then my parents got divorced, whatever. But my dad remarried to a bass player, like a professional bass player. And so we would go to orchestras. She was in orchestras, symphonies. She was in a jazz band. She was in a blues band. She was in a bluegrass band, a rock band. She was, so literally every weekend we were traveling to some place to listen to music. And so I think that's how my progression in music, kind of like music has just always been a part of my life. In fact, my dad, he passed away like a decade ago, but he had this record. He had this tape, this specific tape that he made a tape of a record of Bob Marley. Like he loved Bob Marley, one of his favorite artists. He loved Rolling Stones. He loved everything. He loved bluegrass. He loved music in general. Like that's where I get my eclectic music taste. But he had this specific love of Bob Marley, and he was recording from a record to a tape a Bob Marley album. And he had me as I think I was like 6 at the time, like in charge of hitting stop and go on the record buttons. And so I hit record, and I think that there was the recorder he was using had a microphone on it. And so there's a point in the tape, and he played it back to me like before he died. He's like, this is my favorite moment, one of my favorite moments in life. And it was me as a 6-year-old going, okay, Dad, I'm hitting record as a like 6-year-old, and then Bob Marley starts, and like there's like this break in the music where it's like, you know, Bob Marley, and all of a sudden there's, you know, 5-year-old Tyler going, okay, Dad, I hit it, we're good. and so that was one of my things, right? Like where it's like there's these emotions. I think to me, the music is emotion to me. Like when I get emotional pull and I can tie music to emotions, or I tie to a place, time, person, that kind of thing. That's music to me, is transportation or transcendence to another place and time and person or thing, right? Like that's music to me. Sorry, I don't know if that makes sense. I kind of went on.
It's like kind of like smells and stuff. They can bring back memories or bring you back to a certain place where you originally heard it, or
man. Like and that can happen with new music too. Like I'll be listening to random music and sipping on some whiskey. It'll be late at night. I'll have some clothes backs on, and all of a sudden a new track I never heard before, but the lyrics and the music, and all of a sudden I'll just be like, oh, it just grabs you, right? And I call it floating on the sea of music. We're all just, and it's just fantastic. It's just a lovely experience.
So, next question.
Next question. Let's do this. Let's...
All right. So, I guess it ties into that. When did you become an audiophile or like dive into headphones and things like that?
So I've always listened to music. I've always been into like gaming headphones, but I was never into headphones as like a music conveyance per se until I had my daughter. I was actually moving towards speakers, and then my daughter came along, and you need to have closed backs, or you can't be disrupting. And so I did headphones because of gaming, because I wanted to play games and not disrupt my daughter or watch movies. And so that's when I think I started diving down the headphone rabbit hole. And that's when I think I became more of a proper audiophile as well, because then all of a sudden you have these aha moments or these wow moments where you'll hear something and like I was talking about before, where all of a sudden you hear like the heel of the palm slapping on that bass, and you're like, oh, I hear that, like, and then you start chasing that, and that's when I think the audiophile nature came into place. And for me, would have been probably about a year into headphone chasing. And I think it was when I got the actually the HD800s. I actually sent them off to a friend to check out. But I had the HD800s with a MCTH, which is a tube hybrid amplifier, and it just resonated. And all of a sudden, that was when I think I had that genesis of like, oh wait, this is fantastic. I need to keep doing this. And so that was probably about 4 years ago now. So it was funny, because I'm actually relatively new to like the headphone audiophile space. I'm about 4 or 5 years into audiophile, probably about 4 years into audiophile headphones. So
that's pretty interesting that you went into being an audiophile through like gaming and like trying out gaming headphones, because that's what got me into keyboards as well, is because of like gaming, and I needed a nice proper mechanical keyboard. And then I just saw like, oh, you can actually, customize your keyboard. You can choose whatever switch feels better, and then you can actually aesthetically customize it as well with like the colors or the little artisan keycaps. So that's pretty interesting how like it's tied down to gaming.
Yes, gaming has actually been a big part. I mean, I don't know if it's, that's like, so you can't really quite, well, actually, there you go. So you can kind of see Mega Man there a little bit. But on the inside, I have, there you go. Well, there's my Nintendo. But I have an acorn. So my middle name is Oak, and my dad named me after an oak tree, because all of my family has a history in logging. But so this tattoo is the roots, and then kind of like growing up and like kind of like knowing your history. And so the acorns, so it's like knowing my roots is the kind of idea behind that tattoo. And it's tied heavily into gaming, because I have so much fond memories of growing up playing games, and like being those things that kind of grab you and pull you into the worlds that they were, right? And they let your imagination run wild, or let you be things that you can never be as well, right? So like those, to me, gaming is it's like a book. It's like a fantastic book that you actually get to take. You instead of reading about it or you're imagining it, you are doing it. Like that's to me gaming. Like it's that transcendence and ability to put you into a thing that allows you to be more than not necessarily than you are, but like allow you to do things you would never be able to do in real life.
Right.
Yeah. Like you suddenly have superpowers and you can fly or,
exactly.
shoot fire out of your hands.
Yeah, I'm a magician now. Like Elder Scrolls stuff. I love that. I'm also a big fan of Elder Scrolls, by the way.
I love the lore and just like diving into like the whole history of like not just Elder Scrolls but in RPGs in general. Like I just love like learning about the characters and then you get attached to them and then the game ends and then you're sad.
Yeah. Yes. There's that moment. Like it's kind of like a good book or even like a good TV series or a good like you get to the end of it, you're just like, ah. Oh. Like you're very happy to get to the end and you're like, oh I yes. And then at the same time you're like, but it's over. Ah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I fully agree with that. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling. Matt, next question if you have one.
Yeah, what got you into mechanical keyboards?
Actually, very similar. It was I wanted to start doing PC gaming more because I'm a big console gamer. I've always been more of a console gamer guy. But I wanted to get more into PC gaming, and same thing, right? Like everyone was like, "Oh, you have to have." So I started with like a Razer, the Razer keyboards, and then drop or a mass drop, and then so I got a couple of those, and then I got into QnA store. In fact, here's my first what I consider my first like real lead into like is this one, which is the Kira by QnA store. Have you heard of the Kira? And it's got, and actually I have it on order. I have actually, it's funny. I actually have I have like 3 or 4 keyboards that are like been in limbo. Like you guys know this feel.
Yeah.
Where you order something that's like years later before all of a sudden like shows up at your desktop or your home and you're like, oh yeah, I did order that. But anyways, I actually have the metal version coming as well down the road. But so this is the first one that I got that was like I'm really happy about getting. I have a couple random little like nothing fancy. I have this one that's I'm really proud of. This little purple monster guy with glow in the dark eyes and teeth. And then my little shruggy. I like that guy a lot. I don't know why. And then my pink one. Wait, where is it? There's my little pink. This is a random key grab. I bought like a bunch of random keys and they sent this pink one randomly. And I was like, that's fantastic. I need that in my
That's so cute.
my keyboard. But yeah, like so I think but the same thing was I had the drops or I had the Razer keyboards, and then I got the drop keyboards was like the what have you where you can hot swap the keys. Even this one's a hot swap. And then once I started hearing that like the different like hearing the different way the tactile sense of the presses, the sounds. And then I went and I through audio, of course, randomly through audio was how I found Drift Mechanics, which was the Austin I have, and into that world of like proper custom keyboards, right? Like, which was through audio is how I actually found the proper I'm literally soldering the Austin, and I have the Forever 65 on order as well, and then I'm trying to get the iron
lubed your own switches, right?
Yeah, like I've never. So that was this one. I my first keyboard. I lubed, switched. I lubed and filmed all the keys on this one.
Wow.
And so, by the way, that sucks. That's not fun. But I mean, it sounds good though. It sounds fantastic. I love it. But and I think anytime you can have a custom thing that's yours, like this is yours, right? Like you put your spin on it. I love that stuff. Like if you can have something that has just a little bit of you in it, like the Rad Zeros, you can get these customed too, or even my Verites where I have their purple. No one else has that headphone. I think that's so like that to me is why I love hobbies. if you could customize it. Sorry, long-winded answer to your question of how I got into keyboards was roundabout way. It was gaming, which then led, and then gaming to audio, and then from the audio I found the custom drifting bunnies. He was in the thing right now. Hey Drift, what's up, brother? Ninja, fantastic photography, that man.
Oh yeah, I think I follow him on Instagram.
Dude,
He
he does
awesome
some
photos.
fantastic photos. And it's just but so it was from gaming to audio to custom keyboards, right? Is how I kind of did it as well, like roundabout way. So, anyways, Matt, hit me with another one. Well, I think we're gonna push into. We'll go to 6. We'll do 2 hours. I promised my wife an hour and a half, but I think she was already like 2 hours. You're gonna do 2 hours. I know you are. So.
So funny.
All right, what was your first tattoo?
First tattoo. It's I can't really show it but it's up here. I got it with my best friend. And it's a kanji, and it was supposed to mean naughty. But as I don't know, with the different dialects, right? Like depending on who you talk to, it means a different thing. And my grandfather just so happens to speak multiple Asian dialects. He passed away, of course, but I remember I showed it to him, and he was like, "That doesn't mean what you think it means." that's not a good word. And I was like, "Oh, okay." But it was so he told me it means nasty, like in a bad way, like nasty, like nasty. And we thought it meant naughty. Like we were like, oh, we're being naughty. 18-year-old kids like, oh, we're naughty. We're cool. And my grandpa was like, So that was my first tattoo. And it's right here. It's a kanji. It's a big too. So it takes up pretty much this whole area of my shoulder. And then I covered that with not covered. It's still there, but you can kind of see it. I have a star, but I have a Japanese dragon that kind of wraps around my whole arm, and then the tail kind of comes up so over and wraps around that. But those are that one. So that's my first tattoo. Was that it was a not such a great idea tattoo. And I got it in we got it in his the guy we got it tattooed from was a buddy of his who was a gang guy in California. And so it was like a kind of prison tattoo style, so it's not the best tattoo either. It's so I probably should get it retouched to say the least.
That's so funny.
Anything else? Do you guys have tattoos? I know. I've seen Maria. She has the.
Yeah, I do. So these are like patterns from different tribes in the Philippines.
Very nice.
So this is from a tribe in the north. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you can see it. Could you?
Looks very very pretty.
Oops. So there you go.
Very pretty.
And this is basically an old Filipino script that we no longer use since we use the ABCs, the Latin script now. And then I have this, which is the colors of the Philippine flag.
Very cool. I like it. Yep. My wife's Filipino as well. Filipina. She's a Filipino. I don't want to make that weird. I probably drank too much. She actually has on her neck, the back of her neck, she has her last name, which means kings in the Philippines. So she has like a thing for that, which is really cool.
Yeah. That's so cool. Matt doesn't have any tattoos. He keeps joking that he's gonna get a face tattoo one day.
Just tat my face.
Just nothing else, just the face.
and maybe
that's my next. I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm looking forward to getting the tattoo shops opening up more properly because I want to finish. So I don't know if you noticed. So I have color here, but then the rest of the dragon is not colored in. So I want to color all that in, and I want to do. I have for my daughter on above my heart. She was born in the year of the monkey, and she's the year of the fire monkey of all things. So I'm gonna do a cool fire monkey tattoo
Oh,
here,
that's cool.
and then something over here, and eventually I'll do like my whole. This COVID year totally threw off all my plans, but I plan on having my full back. I have a couple back tattoos. I want to fill out my back, my sides, and my chest, and then probably do my. I have a couple stomach tattoos as well, but and then I'll start working on my legs again. But yeah, like I love tattoos. I think that I love art. Once again, that's that art factor, right? Like I love art, so why not? You know, be the painted man. And then eventually I want to do some more hand stuff too. Like originally, because I was in the military, I couldn't do hand tattoos, but now that I can, I want to do some hand tattoos. I think that'd be really cool. So.
That's gonna be super cool. Yeah.
I want to do a mustache.
Maybe like a mustache right here. So you could. That's gonna be fun.
Anyways.
Once stuff.
Oh, go ahead.
Once stuff opens up again, I also plan on having like just below my collarbone over here, like my new last name, which is Yiddish, right? For butcher.
Which very nice.
Yeah. So it's a nice last name. It's pretty funny because I used to play World of Warcraft. And there's a character there that's like he's this big dude and his name is Pudge and he's a butcher and because I love that character, like my classmates would call me Pudge, the butcher. So it was like, you know, it's ironic that now I have my last name means butcher.
Very cool. I love it. See, that's the other thing with tattoos too, right? Some of my tattoos don't mean anything. Like they're literally just art. And people are like, "What's that mean?" I'm like, "Things." But really, it was just like even the dragon, like nothing. I have my last name. That means something. Obviously, my last name. I have on. Let's see if I can get it even populate here. I have a King of Hearts with Suicide King with the 2 bullet holes, for mistakes made, kind of thing. I have another dragon. I actually originally this arm here, like you can't really. It's hard to see it, but well, you can't see it. I have a shirt on. But like I had 2 dragons that I drew myself fighting each other, but they were so badly done because I got the tattoos done in Mexico when I was really, really drunk, and it was like a 8-hour tour thing. And then I was super drunk, so I went and dove into a pool like literally right after, so they got super blurred and like so I had to get them retouched, and so the bottom dragon got redone into like clouds, and then so it's just 1 dragon now. Then I have I'm a Scorpio, so I have Scorpio emblems on either shoulder that I need to get those filled in. And then most of the stuff is actually video game related, to be honest. Like this whole arm is more or less video game. On my right calf, I have a really cool tattoo of it's actually the painting that's like back here. And it's actually I can go grab it real quick. It's a really cool tattoo, but it's basically the Mario villains trying to get to the question mark coin box.
Oh, okay.
I loved it, so I ended up getting it. And it's by a local artist here in Washington, Justin Hillgrove, and he does this thing called he does imps, like IMPS and monsters. Imps and Monsters is the website, but he does some really cool artwork. And I love cool. Shy Guy. So Shy Guy was one of my. I was originally as a kid I was called Shy Guy Ty. But so it's got Shy Guy, and they're reaching for. Sorry for the reflections. They're reaching for the question mark, but it's got the blooper, the Goomba, and the bomb, and then like the bomb's starting to go off, and they're like the Goomba's like, oh crap. But I have that exact tattoo on my right calf. Nice. So fun facts. I'm an old school Nintendo fanboy.
That's super cool. Do you have the Switch?
I do. I love the Switch. That's one of my.
I remember like last year we were talking about
Katana
Animal
Zero.
Crossing.
Yeah. Yes.
Animal Crossing. Yeah.
Yes. I played the crap out of Animal Crossing, and then I stopped because it turned into a chores. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm pulling weeds. This is ridiculous. But yeah, so that's the things that like video games, music, art. Always, I love that stuff. On my back, I have currently I have a. You ever seen the Buddha, or the Weeping Monk? You ever seen the Weeping? It's a ball. It's like the carved art. And you see it. It's like a ball. It's a monk. He's all muscular monk, and he's all carved into a ball. So I have that on my center on my back, and I have ideas to put a bunch of artwork around that as well. So, anyways,
That's so cool.
come at me.
What about you? You got questions?
I'm good. I'm just like listening. It's chill. It's nice to, learn a few things about friends.
What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, favorite movie. So I'm gonna have to say it. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Growing up, I watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off every day. It was like one of the random videos I had, VHS tapes. I'd come home. We didn't have TV. We just had like we didn't have like live TV, or we didn't have like cable, or so we had a TV and VHS player. So we had Ferris Bueller's Day Off randomly. I don't know who bought it, why, whatever. But I'd literally watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Risky Business and Beastmaster and Ewoks of Endor or something like that. And I would watch those, like literally get home from school and watch those back to back. And to the point where my siblings got so pissed off that they hid the tape. And it was gone for like years. And I remember like 5 years later coming, and I was like randomly cleaning something for my dad, and I found the tape, and it was like covered in dust. And it was literally this tape that had all my favorite movies. I don't know if you guys, it was like one of those tapes that had like, like 3 hours worth of video or 4 hours worth of video. Some crazy, it was one of those compressed video VHS things. Anyways, it had all the movies on it. And so I remember just plugging that in and just being like, oh. But yeah, so I'd say Ferris Bueller's Day Off would probably be the one that I probably have watched an epic crap ton of. And, I highly recommend it. It's so choice.
What's your favorite movie?
I don't know. For a long time, I would say The Matrix.
The Matrix. Ooh. That's a good one.
Another. I also really, really love Star Wars, of course, but another one was Van Wilder, the original Van Wilder with Ryan Reynolds. That was another one that I watched religiously. How about you, Marie? What's your favorite movie?
Oh my god, I don't really. Well, I watch movies, but I'm not like really into watching movies. Let me see. Oh my god, if this was anime, it would be like an easier question.
Anime movie. There we go.
Anime movie. Probably Final Fantasy Advent Children.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a fan. I've seen that's a
I
really
love
good
that. I watched that like a lot.
Is there multiple Final Fantasy movies?
Yeah,
there's
like.
Is that the first one?
Final
that
Fantasy?
Came out?
No, it's not. But this was about Final Fantasy VII. So I'm a big fan of Final Fantasy VII, so that's why I love that movie.
Did you see the new Harley Quinn? I'm not a big DC Comics fan, but I do love certain DC comics. But the Harley Quinn #1, the newest one, the artist behind the cover of that, for comic books wise, is one of the original Final Fantasy artists. He does like the really cool stylized comic booky looking art. And I have a buddy who's a hardcore comic book collector, and he bought me an extra version of that #1 and sent it to me. So I have that, and I'm just like, thank you, dude. Wow. That's super cool.
That's so cool, yeah.
And here's the thing, I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't know the community either, but like there's a weird divide in the Final Fantasy fandom where you're either a fan of Final Fantasy 7 and above, or a fan of Final Fantasy like 3 and in that era. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so it's like there's like these two different eras of like Final Fantasy. And so I grew up playing like Final Fantasy 3, like 1, 2, 3, and like all the SNES and NES versions of it. And I never played 7 until way later. And so 7 never resonated with me as much as other people. Like I have a friend that's like I actually have multiple friends that are diehard Final Fantasy 7 fans. Yeah. And I'm like, to me, Final Fantasy 3 was Final Fantasy. And so it's so weird, but I'm learning. So I'm actually I'm looking forward to playing the new remake of Final Fantasy 7 here soon. I actually have it. Once I finish God of War, I'm gonna dive into it and start and actually finally finish Final Fantasy VII. I played it when it first came out and never beat it. So now I'm hoping to finally beat it with the new remake. I think it's only half of it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I grew up. I think my first Final Fantasy was Final Fantasy VIII, actually, and then I played 7, and then 9, and then so on. And then when they did a remake of 3, 4, 5, and they ported it into the Game Boy, that's when I started playing those games too. I loved them. They were so fun. Very simple, but like just so fun, and like story-wise,
they're fantastic.
They're great.
Agreed. Okay, we have 5 minutes because I know my wife. I'm sure my daughter's gonna come charging in at any point in time if we're not careful. The beast monkey that she is. So I'm last 5 minutes. Community or you guys? What do you guys want to talk about? 5 minutes, free for all. What's on your mind?
What's on?
I'm hungry. I'm ready to go eat. No.
We ate before the stream, so.
What did you guys have for dinner?
It's time to eat again.
Oh my god! I just had instant noodles, like the Indonesian instant noodles. What's it called? Mie goreng. That's what I had.
Chapaguri.
What did you get?
Chapaguri. No, I had the vodka pasta.
Vodka pasta.
Vodka pasta, fantastic. Both those sound fantastic, actually. I had literally, I grabbed a couple of handfuls of rice and turned them into rice balls and just ate them before the stream. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what
rice
I had.
Rice is always good.
Because my wife's cooking, so she's like, I was like, as I pulled in from picking up, I had headphones I had to grab from another person, and she was leaving with the daughter to go grocery shopping, and so I was like, do I need to get snacks before the show? And she was like, yeah, you should probably eat before you go because you're gonna go for 2 hours. I know you. I'm like, no, it'd be an hour and a half max. And so she so she's like, well, you should eat. So I literally, she had just made rice, so I just grabbed a bunch of rice and rolled it into rice balls. And it was delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was pretty good. I should have grabbed some Japanese add-on seasoning, but but anyways, she actually made short ribs, so we have short ribs.
Ooh,
that I'm sure they're done and they're downstairs. I'm sure. I'm glad the door's shut because I'd smell them and I'd be
We'll probably eat again after the stream. Yeah.
Booze and food, they go so well together.
Yep, they do.
Let's see here. Ninja has an unbuilt Kira. The Kiras are fantastic. They're not the greatest, but they are very good. They have a weird gap in some of the letters, but anyways. Final thoughts for I've been calling you Eminem, the dynamic duo.
Final thoughts. On what?
On let's go. What would you want to tell your community as a random fun thing to tell your community? Your community, like your guys' Discord, your guys' your people, as my daughter would say. I have a fun story about that. I'll say that next after you guys say something.
Random fun thing. I always tell, like, I think like all of our announcements at the end, I always say, or like in the invoices that we send them, I always say stay awesome. So, that's pretty random, and like I just want to tell people to stay true to themselves, stay awesome, be nice, be
nice.
kind, be kind to, each other, and just like straight up just be awesome and be yourself, and like, be happy. Life is short.
That's very apt. I agree with that 100%. I think that's a good way to end the stream, actually, to be honest. Like, stay true to yourself, be you, don't let other people play into it, and just focus on being you, because you as a person, as an individual, are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can hear my little monkey. I have a feeling she's probably gonna come in. I there's a weird part of me is like, I want her to come in and say hi to you guys. I promised her that I would let you guys say hi to her. So let me go grab her real quick, and I'll end the stream with a very cute little 4-year-old. Come here, yeah, come here. All right, want to say hi to my friend?
Hi.
You say
How are you?
That's Marie and Matt. Can you say hi?
Hi.
You want to sing them a song? How do you sing a song?
I want to sing.
You have chocolate all over your face.
So cute.
What do you want to say?
I want this. Can I hear them with the headphones?
You want to hear the headphones? Yeah, you always steal Papa's headphones, huh? You have chocolate all over your face, little one.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
So this is my little
Like
munchkin.
your hairband.
She's
Hi.
my wife's probably gonna be super mad at me for having her on YouTube, but she loves the limelight. I'm not gonna lie to you. She is the biggest actress and singer. She makes up songs off the whim, off the cuff, randomly.
It's awesome.
Sing a song. Make up a song. Come on.
That's the name.
Sing it. Oh, you're being shy now?
I was
What's your favorite color?
pink.
Pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Well, I have a little
Look,
something
she has
for
a pink.
you that
Remember,
we're...
she makes the really pretty characters.
We're
honey.
sending
See?
to you
Is a dragon?
soon.
Is it pretty? Yume? Yeah. Is it pretty?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
All right,
send
well,
that
hey,
to you
Okay,
soon.
I want to tell them a song.
Okay, tell them a song. Sing them a song.
Like this. That's me. And it's what my kitty Mark is telling me.
That's it. Come on, gotta keep going.
Hey, guys are finished.
All right. Well, go down to mom. You want to sing one more song? You have to sing a song. You have to sing it more than just one word,
My
though.
destiny.
Sing it.
And it's what my kitty Mark is telling me.
Oh, that's it? Just one sentence? Okay. Wait, go down to mom, and I'll be down in a second. Oh, there you go.
Can I tell them?
You say bye-bye, friends?
Bye, but can I tell them something?
What?
Look at this.
Yeah, it's your pretty pink
that's so cool.
pearl thingy majigger. All right, hey, go down to mom. And I will...
Look at Johnny.
Okay, say bye. Say bye. Wave.
Bye.
Bye.
So, that's a 4-year-old that will completely overtake your entire life, and it's amazing, and all those other fun things. So yeah, I think with that, my crazy life is over in this world. But any last final things? I think you nailed it, Marie. Matt, any final other add-ons to that, to the loveliness?
I can't top that.
Life is life. We're all here living we're all protagonists, right? We're all doing our thing.
Yeah.
Just stay aware of everybody else. We're all protagonists.
Thank you so much for having us. It's
Yeah.
Meeting you, I guess, was one of the highlights of our 2020. Is that you've been like a great addition to our little family in the Binirias Discord. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a same here. I hence why I love having you on. I'm actually stoked that we actually had the time to do this, and I look forward to doing. I look forward to seeing where you guys grow and progress and become these super awesome people that you already are, and the rest of the world get to see that and partake in it. And then just continuing this. This is fantastic, and I think you guys are awesome. So keep making the art and keep doing what you do, and I think this is going to be a fantastic 2021 with Binirias, and we will see what you guys do from moving forward.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. Thank you also for joining in with us and listening to us randomly talk about random fun things. And oh my gosh, I had this random mute thing up here this whole time. But cheers. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you, Marie, Matt, Marie. Eminem, the dynamic duo, joining us, and we will chat next time. And by the way, go down to their link tree. Go check them out. They have some awesome art. Go see if you can get in on some of their group buys and get some of that goodness that they make. Cheers, and have a great rest of your weekend and enjoy your Easter. And 1, 2, second end. Bye-bye.